Hey guys, it's Tajay Spears, Tennessee Titans running back, and you listen to the Fantasy Football Counselor.
Welcome to the show, guys. Happy Monday. Fantasy football's back on. Exciting one here for you. We are talking about sneaky league winners. Guys that, some of them I have on my team, some of them I don't. Some of them may work out, some of them may not. But they're sneaky league winners with some upside that could boom or could bust. I'm ready to talk about these league winners or potential league winners on the show. We got the great, the powerful Tim, a.k.a. the Bald Man. Welcome to the show, Tim.
Hey, buongiorno, everybody.
Dude, it's so funny because you were on the show a couple weeks ago, and I'm getting DM'd. I got a lot of DMs lately. They're like, what happened to that Tim the Bald guy? We haven't seen him. I think so many people just tune in August when it's like fantasy football season, and they've completely checked out. You were on like 2 weeks ago, not even 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago max. And they're like, where's Tim the Bald guy? I remember years ago you were with him. You've kind of been with us here in the off season here and there a couple times a week. People are sleeping on you, Tim. They're sleeping.
I'm not that special, people. Like, I'm here for comedic relief most of the time. That's it. Don't take what I say seriously. What are you guys, crazy?
So, Tim, I got to talk about the latest news and notes here. We're going to go through some potential league winners here. Some of them, like I said, I have on my team. Some of them I don't. Before we get into that, guys, if you are new to the channel, I checked the analytics. 70% of the people that watch have not actually subscribed. So this comes up on the algorithm for fantasy football. They search it. They haven't subscribed. This is the only channel telling you the truth. Everyone else is playing Sheep's consensus, copy and paste. Hit the subscribe button, smash it, tap it, slap it. Hit the thumbs up. The energy's high here because football is back. Fantasy football is back. I'm pumped up. Preseason was just this past weekend. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So hit the thumbs up and make sure you guys do grab the 16-round draft solution. Guys, it'll put you light years ahead of the Sheep Sleepers, breakouts, auto players, draft you try. And as soon as you get it, Tim, you're going to get a login and you get access to my mock drafts. I just did the August mock draft, updated principal cheat sheet. I'm already on version 5, updating as I go. So this will be updated until the season starts. Tim, I'm excited. Football's back. 16 rounds is the game changer, man. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. And now you say football is back, but we're going to still call it kind of phony football. It's still not full blown, right? Like, I've seen you losing it a little bit on your socials.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks a little bit because we're not seeing these athletes, some of these starters, some of the full potential anywhere near it. So, listen, I'm excited that we're seeing some sort of football, and at the end of the day, it's better than nothing. So, I do want to go over some news and notes here. Very, very important that we go over some major news and notes here. So, remember how we were like in the off season, Tim would always be like news and notes, but there wasn't much to talk about. Now there's like almost too much to talk about. So, we're going to bring in our friend, the friend of the show, Breaking Brad.
We now have breaking news. We now have breaking news. We now have breaking news.
Oh, God. That's the only thing he says.
It's like super breaking.
Super breaking. So a couple highlights. Actually, you know what? Let's go over some things that are just kind of, I got to address here. One thing was Malik Neighbors. It looks like he injured his foot or ankle. It looks like an ankle sprain. I'm not sure on the timeline when he's going to come back. It may dip into the season. He basically limped off the field during practice. This was yesterday, and it looks like to be an ankle sprain. Now, again, we record this on Sunday night. Maybe there's some update overnight, but it looks like an ankle sprain. Hopefully, I heard it's not that serious, and it's not going to affect him. Hopefully for the season. Sucks.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, you've got about 3 to 4 weeks, and then football's really on. So hopefully you can get better in that time.
Yeah, hopefully, man. I mean, he was their only receiving option. A couple other things. Bo Nix did really good. Supposedly supposed to be could be the starter for the Denver Broncos. 15 of 21 passes for 125 yards and a touchdown while adding 3 carries for 17 yards. Bo Nix, man. I mean, a big time fantasy sleeper potential if you're in a 2 QB league. Could be very, very viable. He looked good, man. I mean,
okay. Wait, though. You said 15 for 125.
15 out of 21 in his passes for 125.
It's a good ratio. It's a good completion ratio, but the yardage is not very good. That's not exciting at all.
125 is solid. I mean, he didn't play
on
the whole
15.
game.
That is not good.
It's not.
That is not good.
Tim is so picky.
That would mean he's got to be throwing 35 finished passes to get him up to about 250, 300 yards.
Yeah. Either way, give him a break. It was just an NFL debut, man. Give the guy a break. You are so picky, Tim.
He's not even playing against full-blown starters yet, dude. So keep that in mind.
That too. There's a lot of weird. Let me again look. Anthony Richardson, for example, looked bad. There's a bunch of passes he looked absolutely bad on, and he's a top 5 fantasy QB, which is ludicrous. I think people are overpaying for him, but I think he is, as we saw. I don't think he's that good. We don't know what to expect. He's more of a running quarterback. We're going to see. Again, it's preseason. I don't want to put too much weight on all this stuff. Again, there's so much going on right now. I'm just trying to break it down here. James Cook has been experiencing, I told you he's going to bust this year. I know you're higher on him. Remember, he had 2 touchdowns last year. Josh Allen stole a lot of them. They brought in Ray Davis. They got Frank Gore Jr. signed on. But he's been experiencing difficulty on holding on the football on the end of plays during training camp, according to a couple beat writers. He had a pair of fumbles in team's practice on Wednesday, August 7th. So that's a couple days ago. But yeah, and again, I just think he's going to bust this year. I've talked about it on a bunch of shows, but I want to highlight it here. Okay.
I can't be the only one to think, though, that even going back to last year, you saw defenses being a lot more aggressive, really, really trying to hammer that ball out there. It seemed like last year, especially more than the years prior, that defenses are really going after that forced fumble and just trying to smash it out no matter what it takes.
They're trying to punch that ball out for sure. A couple other notes here. Marquise Brown, he is Hollywood Brown, dislocating his shoulder, and he was being hospitalized. Apparently, it's a similar injury to what Tyreek had back in 2019. What the coach was saying and the staff could be about 4 to 6 weeks. Again, I'm not a big Hollywood fan anyway, but this does give Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy a little bit of a boost on the Chiefs' offense. Hollywood Brown, shoulder injury, it happens. What can I tell you? He wasn't on my radar anyway. Also, Caleb Williams looked good in his rookie debut, 4 of 7 for 95 yards, adding a 13-yard run. And again, when I looked at this, we talked about these 3-headed monster situations with Keenan Allen, top rookie prospect Romo Tuesday, and DJ Moore. DJ Moore looked like he was being targeted more out of the 3. But again, I don't want to put too much weight on anything here we're talking about. I'm just calling it how I see it. And, maybe it's DJ Moore. We don't know.
Okay, now here's one thing I will say about that stat you just threw, though. 4 of 7 for 95. That is some good stuff, my brother. That is good. Not 15 for 125. That's not near as good as 4 of 7 for 95. That's all I'm saying, people. I mean, run the numbers, quick math. That's good stuff.
Math. I could be wrong. You go back and check Bo Nix. I could be wrong about all this stuff. I'm just reading quick stats. I got like stats and news everywhere. There's so much going on. But one thing we do know is that I've been talking about this the entire offseason is that Romeo Doubs is the one. It's been confirmed by a local paper, or was it some sort of journal that was local near Green Bay. And from coaching staff, I'm hearing from news sources that Romeo Doubs is the one. He's been doing the best out of the training camp, okay? Now, it was Dontavian Wicks, who's the wide receiver 4 on the team, which I heard some of the Chiefs is really pushing. I mean, why would you draft a wide receiver 4? I mean, he wasn't even a top wide receiver draft pick for these guys, for the Packers. Anyway, Wicks was the guy that caught the 65-yard touchdown from Jordan Love. And so many people are saying, well, yeah, it's going to be a juggle. It's going to be a Watson week. It's going to be a Jaden Reed week. It's going to be a Romeo Doubs. But Romeo Doubs was the guy they relied on in the playoffs last year, okay? When it push came to shove, Jordan Love leaned on Romeo Doubs. He was a top target guy, Tim. And everyone's talking Dontavian Wicks and blah, blah, blah. It's been confirmed Romeo Doubs is the one. And here's the crazy thing, Tim. Here's what I wanted to share with you. Tell me how crazy the Chiefs are here, okay? I did a video on how crazy this is. Hold on, I'm going back to my video. As of right now, the time of this recording, Monday, August 12th, okay? Jaden Reed is sitting as wide receiver 37, meaning 37th amongst wide receivers in PPR. Christian Watson, 42, and Doubs, 54th. I mean, he's the one. He's the one. That's round 9 and 10.
I'm with Jaden Reed. Jaden Reed, Romeo Doubs. To me, those are the 2 contenders here. I don't care about anybody else. And when you look at the numbers, Jaden Reed did do better last year in his rookie year than Doubs in his was it second or third?
Like second or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So either way, I'm a little more towards Jaden Reed.
I don't. So was Jimmy Maverick. I think he said this is going into his 3rd season, I believe, with the Packers. So, but yeah,
Reed outperformed in his rookie year. So to me,
it was pretty close. They were pretty close.
It was fairly close. I believe touchdowns were like neck and neck. Yardage was a little better for Jaden Reed. Yards per target, I think, was a little better. A little better. I mean, to me, there's no standout here. Nobody is going to be a killer.
It could be diluted, but again, this is what I'm saying. But you're getting Romeo Dobbs around 9-10. His ADP should be rising. When you're spending a Nico Collins round 2, when it's going to be diluted with him, Diggs, and that whole offense, and Tank Dell. And Tank Dell was the guy who caught the touchdown. Again, I'm not putting too much weight on preseason, but I'm just saying, that these guys could be emerging. The Dells could be the one. Romeo Dobbs is the one. But at least you're playing the wide receiver guessing game later instead of in the rounds 2 to 5. That's all I'm saying, okay?
Yeah. Yep.
Couple notes, my guy, Keon Coleman. I think you only caught one pass. It was Curtis Samuel had a good passer to Shakir, I think, led in regards to, again, this is so early. I mean, they pulled Josh Allen pretty quick out of that game. It was crazy. Didn't see much out of it. Not too much weight on that. And one more thing, your guy, the guy you love, and I like him too, Jaden Daniels, his ADP's on the rise, completing 3 out of 4 passes for 45 yards, and he had a short yardage touchdown near the goal line. Looks explosive, looked cool under pressure, which was really good. So Jaden Daniels, his ADP on the rise. But again, you're taking a risk because he's not a cheap quarterback. I mean, he's coming off relatively early, he's around 4, 5, 6, something like that. You're going to still have to pay for him, right? You don't have to pay like a Josh Allen Hurts price, but you pay a round or two after that. But Jaden Daniels has that massive upside and the rushing upside. Could be ultra explosive this year. So again, those are some preseason highlights. Again, if I'm missing something, let me know. Our guy, Trey Benson, who's coming to the Fantasy Sports Summit. A lot of people, criticizing him for his running. I mean, it was preseason. It was his first time out. He didn't fumble or anything. He just looked like they're saying he lacked vision. He hesitated. He ran strong on a couple runs, but didn't look spectacular, lacked the explosiveness. But again, Tim, very early, right? Very early, very, very early.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, you can't take preseason as all that. It's just a look. So seeing him for the first time in a game situation like that is maybe not so great. But come on, give him another week or two before you write him off.
And let me tell you one quick story here. It was Amir Abdullah years ago when he was on the Detroit Lions, I think it was his rookie year. In his preseason game, he looked explosive. He was shaky, blah, blah, blah. He looked amazing. I bought into it. This was like back in 2013, 14. It was a long time ago. Look it up. His rookie year, Amir Abdullah. And I was like, yeah, man, I got to have this guy. Look great. Everyone's like, wow. Then he played like he's not good, right? So you never know. Someone who maybe didn't look good in preseason could absolutely tear it up when the season starts, when push comes to shove, right? So again, I'm not putting too much weight on this, but it does give us some sort of context, or it gives us a glimpse or a sample size of what to expect. That's it. All right, so that's it for Lasers. Thank you, Breaking Brad.
We now have breaking news.
No, we're done for now. Again, drop in the comments below if I missed anything, and then anything breaks in the next 12 hours from this when they're released. Sorry, guys, we missed it because I always get criticized. You didn't talk about this. Well, yeah, it happened right after I got off the camera here. All right, so let's go into it, Tim. We are diving into some sneaky league winners. Ready to dive in. So let's start off with the first guy here. We were just talking about him, is Romeo Dobbs, wide receiver 54. Now, again, he's not really a sneaky sleeper to some degree, but when you put it into how disrespected he is, his ADP, now this is his amongst wide receiver ADP is far down lower, if you look at the overall, but amongst wide receivers, wide receiver 54, and you are getting Jordan Love, who again looked good in preseason, looked good last year, actually threw more than CJ Stroud, statistically looked better than CJ Stroud, and he's wide receiver 54. Tim, this is why I mean the sheep don't, this is why you can't follow rankings. And what happens when this guy comes in, tears it up, truly does become the one, and you basically spent an earlier round pick, around 6 pick, let's say, instead of around 9, 10 on Jayden Reed. The sheep don't got it right, Tim. They're just guessing with these rankings. That's why rankings don't work. They don't work, Tim.
Like we just said, these two guys last year were pretty much neck and neck. A lot of the stats were fairly similar, but I do believe Jayden Reed was slightly better when you look at it overall. And that is in his rookie year compared to Dobbs having 2 years.
I don't care about that.
You should. I mean, you're always the guy about rookies.
Yeah.
I mean, Reed in his rookie year beat Dobbs. So to me, that means Reed technically should be the one. But I still see it being very close. I don't think anybody's a standout here.
One thing I want you to know, and this is what really gets me, okay? CJ Stroud's a great talent. I'm not knocking CJ Stroud, but I want to just make a point here. We're talking about these three-headed monster situations here. Welcome to the common sense corner here, okay? Jordan Love had 579 attempts 4,159 yards, 32 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. So 4,000 plus yards, 32 touchdowns to 11. CJ Stroud, again, mind you, rookie year, right? 41, so similar, 41-08, 23 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. So he had like 9 less touchdowns, give or take, right? And 499 attempts to 579. So what I'm saying is that Jordan Love beat him in pretty much every metric, right? And you're getting a diluted situation because you don't really know who the one is, even though now you got some clarity that the teams are saying it's Dobbs. The depth chart is saying it's Dobbs, right? At least you got some sort of clarity, and you're getting a 9th to 10th round value in Dobbs. Yet you have zero clarity with the Texans, right? And we know that Stroud throws less, yet everybody is telling you Nico Collins round 2. I see Concheapsis mock drafts, other podcasts, magazines, sites. Everyone's got Nico as a top receiver, and then Diggs right after, and then Dell slightly after, but literally through rounds 3, 4, and 5 with diluted situations. Yet you can get Reed round 6, Watson a little later, and then Dobbs super late. And then even if you want Dontayvion Wicks, he's like even after Dobbs. I think he's like wide receiver 60. So what I'm saying is when I say league winner, sneaky, you think he's the wide receiver 3, or they're making you believe that, but he's not. He's the wide receiver 1. It's been confirmed. Do you see why I get frustrated with the Sheeps, and do you see why I created 16 rounds to him?
This is a trick question because the answer is yes, but I don't fully agree with you on this one. So how do I say yes?
Hold on. What don't you agree with? What are you talking? Everything I said.
I think that Jaden Reed and Romeo Dobbs are neck and neck. I don't think that you can right now say Dobbs is the one. You're saying that he's the one because some beat reporter said he's the one.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean squat to me at this point.
Team's depth chart. I think I'm going to go pull up Packers team depth chart. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is this. Forget Dobbs and Reed. I'm comparing Packers receivers versus Texans receivers. Right. And Love is better than CJ Stroud on paper, right?
Yes. Yep. Better throwing quarterback.
So where's the logic here? How is Nico Collins, second round? Because I'll tell you why. Because last year he finished really good without Dell and Diggs there, and he's paced it over. Now, mind you, even though those guys weren't there, he only had 109 targets, which isn't even that good, Tim. To put that in context with you, let me filter here by targets. He would be like, 25th amongst wide receivers in targets. 25th. And you're telling me with 109 targets, only 109 targets, you're going to draft him in the second round. Now he's got Diggs there. He's got Joe Mixon who catches the ball backfield and a healthy Dell. And you think that he's going to do better than 109 targets? Because if you're drafting him in the second round, that's what you're telling me. Did you see the logic here?
Absolutely. No, I agree with you on that point. Absolutely.
Diggs is a target hog. I mean, they're already talking that he could be the one. He's the alpha dog. I think in preseason, I don't think he got a pass or something. He was already arguing to CJ Stroud at the sideline saying like, I want the ball, whatever. Like, it's going to be crazy. They got a diva there. So anyway, I know I spent a lot of time on this, but I'm trying to save fantasy leagues. You got to use common sense. That's why you guys get the 16-round draft solution, because we're thinking outside the box. We're going to be more practical with you, okay? Anyway, we get it. Next guy here, I'm not really crazy on. I have no stock in, so Dobbs I'm in on. Javonte Williams, I am not. Just for the disclaimer here, Tim, RB29, contract year. I just looked at his contract. He's due to get a contract or get signed next year. He's only making like just under $3 million a year. So he is hungry. They drafted Audric Estime, 6'1", 200 some odd pounds in the 5th round. I watched the preseason game. I think Audric had the 1 touchdown. Javonte ran hard on 1 yard, but his stats weren't like phenomenal in the first preseason game. I got to go back and check it. But anyway, it's kind of a make or break season for Javonte. Again, I'm not excited, but he could, if he turns it up and he gets going, and Bo Nix, like I said, does okay, we could have a league winner here. But again, years 12, so we're not, wow. Now, before you get into it, 4 rushes, 15 yards, 3.8 yards per carry. Not great, Javonte, in your preseason debut, though.
Not just that, but like you said, years to Whelmy, I'm not wrong. He's done nothing in the 3 years he's played so far. Nothing. 7 rushing touchdowns in 3 years. I don't believe he's been over 1,000 yards. I'm pretty positive of that. Just low 200 for attempts. No, there's nothing there, man. I mean, you're really predicating all of this basically on him wanting to win the big contract, but you still got to put the work in, man. And to me, it's not there. I'm really like, when you said Javonte Williams, I'm like, really, dude?
Yeah. I have no stock. I want to say I have no stock, but what I'm saying, that contract year and word out of training camp is that he's doing really well. He's kind of separated himself from McLaughlin there and, Audric Estime, the rookie, was a 5th round pick. But I got Audric Estime stashed on one of my leagues, so I'm kind of rooting for him. Let's go, Audric. But at this point, Javonte, I'm just saying there could be something there. RB29, and you're getting the RB1. Do you see what I'm saying, Tim? It's more like, could be something. Explore.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the price. Like I always say, man, everybody at the right price, but I'm not excited here. To me, this is definitely not a sneaky league winner.
Okay, I respect that. But you never know. Javonte Williams contract year, there could be something there. Moving on here to Don't Be a Donkey, draft Ladd McConkey. I think he's already dealing with some sort of injury. He'll be fine. And then we got Herbert dealing with some sort of injury. That's fine. Let them deal with their little nagging injuries, their plantar fasciitis.
That's not a little one.
It's okay. So what it is for Herbert is it's for Herbert, right? It's under his foot. So it's that shock absorber under his foot. It's from it's like the bone or the tissue that connects from your heel to your toe, that cushion part. He'll be fine, man. I'm not really concerned. It's funny. It's funny. I'm not a doctor, but I'm telling you that Herbert will be fine. But I will say this, though. I did a draft. I think it was 2 days after that injury or a day or so after. And it was a 350 buy-in league. And I think he fell to the 14th round just because of that injury, man. And he was typically coming off round 8 or 9 or something like that.
Listen, man, as a quarterback with a problem with your feet is huge. Like, honestly, I'm play at that high energy plant and pass and put everything behind it. Like, damn, it is scary. It definitely is. I hope the best for him because I think it's a great connection, Herbert and McConkey. But
what do you mean? He doesn't need feet. He just throws.
Who are you? Friggin' arm. That's it.
So yeah, I just want to talk about Ladd McConkey. I love him. Wide receiver 43. He's going to be the one, just so you know, at a training camp, because I've been all over this news and training camp and everything that's going on, trying to get the inside scoop. And from what I understand, DJ Chark, years to wow us, war not wowed. Josh Palmer has always been a complimentary wide receiver. He's never been that good. He's always been a wide receiver 3 at best. And Ladd McConkey are your starters. Quentin Johnson's been sucking, dude. That guy, I don't understand, man. 1st round pick, and you just suck, man. Like, all I kept seeing in like the first, week of training camp was like videos of him dropping the ball, and they don't like him, and he just sucks. So out of those guys, Ladd McConkey's the guy. He's going to be the short yard guy as well. And again, all that open, the attempts are there. That's what I'm talking about. I see a field of like fantasy points. That's all I see is just green pastures or whatever. But listen, you got, what's his name? Austin Suckler. He's gone. So no checkdowns to him. They got Gus Edwards, can't catch the ball that well anyway. Then you got, Mike Williams gone. You got Keenan Allen gone. Someone's got to catch the ball. And I'm not really sold on Chark and Palmer. Like, they're going to get their share, no doubt. But Ladd McConkey looks like he's going to be the go-to guy, barring any injury. Love him. And you're getting a wide receiver 1 around 6 or after. Sign me up. I've got him on all my leagues. He's my ride or, banish kind of guy. Like, I'm all in. I'm all in at the table, Tim.
I'm starting to lean a little more towards this one as well. For the first while, I was kind of against you on him. But to me, of the 3 options there, yeah, man, he's right there. He's definitely in the battle for the wide receiver 1.
Don't be a donkey. I know what it was. It was don't be a donkey, draft Ladd McConkey. That's what got you on board, Tim. That's what got you on board.
That's it. I just needed to keep hearing that subliminal message in my head, and I'm there. I'm done.
We wanted to see what Breaking Brad thinks about Ladd. Breaking Brad, what do you think of Ladd?
We now have breaking news.
There you go. So we're all in agreement.
He's all in. Oh, yeah. That was his 100% commit voice.
You could tell by the tone of his voice that he was in on Ladd. Like, we didn't need to hear any. It's not about what you say. It's about how you say it, right? He's the definition of that, right? Yeah. So one more thing. Brad, do you like Tim? What do you think?
We now have breaking news.
He likes you, Tim. I think he sounded...
Really? I don't know. I thought that one was a little bit suspect there. A little forced.
All right. Next one here. Sneaky league winner. And I know he's on a lot of people's radars. And another guy I don't have stock in is Brock Bowers. Now, top tight end prospect. And you hear all the scouting reports. He's a rare... rare ability of like... athleticism and size. Like, he's got that rare ability of size and athleticism, which he does, He's got good hands, good route runner. He can play the tight end position. He can block. He can also line up, you know, in the slot and catch balls. He could do it all. Okay. Now, the problem I have here, well, the good news is that he was a first-round pick. The problem I have here is that they drafted Mike Mayer last year, second round. They got this guy in the first. They're going to have 2 tight ends. They got Myers there. They got, Zamir White, I think he's going to run the ball out. They got Adams. But I think they could rely on Bowers. I mean, why would you draft a tight end if you're not going to use him as a receiver when he's got that ability? So there might be something here. But again, Minshew, O'Connell, that's my question mark. But he could be a sneaky guy. It could be this year's Laporta. Now, there's other tight ends. If you get 16 rounds, let me leave a note here, 16 rounds. I do mention who I think could potentially be this year's Laporta in the 16-round draft solution in the Patreon group, patreon.com/FFCounselor. If you're not in there, make sure you guys join the Patreon group. But I will tell you this, man, like there could be something there. I personally have 0 stock in Bowers, but something could be there, Tim. I don't know. Maybe.
The thing for me is this isn't the same Raiders as a couple years ago. You know, last year, they did not use tight end at all, really. I mean, Mayer's got 27 receptions.
Sucks.
Nothing, dude. So even the fact that you're bringing in Bowers a first round, I seem to remember another first round tight end that went really high like a few years ago. What was his? That's what I was getting at. I was trying to play stupid, but I mean, and look at how well he's panned out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this isn't the same Raiders. Raiders used to go heavy tight end, and it hasn't been that way for the last year. Scary. I don't think it's there. I mean, like you say, maybe they'll use him more as a receiver as opposed to a tight end. Like maybe they'll think of him more that way in his route running and stuff. I hope so, but I don't know. I personally, once again, would not touch him.
Yeah. So Brock Bowers, I have no stock in him. But when I say sneaky, I mean, he's kind of he's not under the radar, but again, he's higher than like Laporta was last year. So what the sheep are trying to do is they're trying to think, oh, we missed out on Laporta. We're going to try to do it with Brock Bowers. So he might be sneaky in 2 ways. It might be sneaky good, or it might be sneaky like, oh, we thought he was good, right? But he's, he just sucked. He's sneaking in there to be this year's Laporta. And I will tell you right now, I don't feel he's this year's Laporta. I know a lot of people are high on Brock Bowers. I am out on him, just for the record. So people, even when he breaks down, I won't come back and say, oh, I love Brock Bowers now. Just for the record, I'm out on Brock Bowers, but there could be something there. So it's like, I want to do shows where I'm talking about other players because it always seems to be about my guys all the time. So I wanted to mix it up a little bit. He can be a potential league winner. There's no doubt about it. I'm not in on him. That's all.
Let me ask you why. What is the main reason you are not in on him?
Good question. There's a lot of reasons. Like I said, the fact that
I want the main one.
Oh, there's lots.
One main reason. It should be a no-brainer.
Okay, well,
who's throwing the damn ball?
That's a big thing, and
that
again,
should be the top to me.
Yeah, and Myers could outperform him in receptions too. So he's kind of like the wide receiver 3, more or less. Whereas, like I saw Laporta being the 2 last year, but it's definitely the quarterback play. I don't trust the quarterbacks.
Yeah. You get Uncle Rico or you get O'Connell, and not on either one of them. No way.
Absolutely. So again, Brock Bowers could be a league winner, but I'm personally out on him. Moving on to the next guy here, we're talking Brian Thomas Jr. He had 1 catch, which was an impressive catch, for that matter, for 41 yards. The reason I love him so much, he could be a potential league winner, is this, okay? When you submit yourself, to be a 2, which is what Kirk did last year, Christian Kirk, on the Jacksonville Jaguars, that means you're a 2. And the funny thing is, he's coming off well before Brian Thomas Jr. The Chiefs have Kirk as the 1. I'm not sold he's the 1 because as soon as Ridley came in, he became the 2. And again, as soon as you submit your position, you're not a true 1. I don't care what anyone says. If you were a true 1 on that team, the alpha, you would have been better than Calvin Ridley. I don't care. That's my thought process. In comes rookie Brian Thomas Jr., drafted in the first round, top wide receiver prospect out of this draft. Coming in, had an amazing catch in preseason. We haven't seen enough. Brian Thomas is the 1. You get him for later. I don't care. I'm rolling with him, and he could win leagues because I believe there's going to be a bounce back here from Trevor Lawrence. You're getting amazing value with Brian Thomas Jr. Sign me up, Tim. Sign me up whenever I can. That's it.
I don't know how you call this a bounce back year for Trevor Lawrence. Last year was not a bad year. I believe he threw for 4,000, like probably just right around the 4,000
mark. For fantasy, it wasn't the greatest. Everybody was big, because his ADP was super high last year. That's a thing. But yeah, you're right. 21, but his ratio sucked. 21-14, touchdown to interceptions. Not the greatest.
What was it the year before though? Like
It was,
to me,
it was better than that.
Here's the thing, though. To me, he's not an outstanding quarterback. He's just one of those guys that gets a lot of publicity, gets the talk around him. But to me, he's not a phenomenal quarterback. He's decent.
25-8, Tim. 25-8, 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions.
That's decent, but 25 is not a good high number, man. When you're talking wide receivers, and he's got a few good ones to go to here, so that's going to be spread around. You'll be lucky if any one receiver grabs 10 of them. So put all of these guys in single digit touchdowns, maybe give them 1,000 yards. It's kind of stretching it, but yeah, to me, I mean, you got Gabe Davis, you got Christian Kirk, and you got Brian Thomas Jr.
But here's the crazy thing. I believe he's the one. Brian Thomas is the one. Gabe Davis is always the 2 as well in Buffalo. But Brian Thomas, wide receiver 51. That's wild. I know he's going to be.
It's a great price. It's a great price. But man, you're calling a rookie that you haven't even really seen play a game yet. Yeah, you're saying he's the one. That's hard to swallow.
I don't believe in Kirk. I don't believe that guy is good. He's always sucked. He's always sucked. He's not good. So
let's say even if you want to call Brian Thomas the one, to me, these guys are like 1, 2, 3. You got to say it like fast. They're 1, 2, 3. They're right there, man. I mean, bing, bing, bing. That's all 3 of these guys. It could be any one of them, but nobody is a clear-cut standout to me.
Not yet. But you will see. Brian Thomas should emerge there. It shouldn't be.
I mean, you'll know by, I guess, week 6 probably. Week 6 to me is always if he hasn't solidified his position at that point, then you're wrong.
Oh, he's solidifying his position in week by week 2. He'll be solidified. He'll be solid.
Big call there, baby.
You'll see.
All right.
Last guy here. Again, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys do smash it, tap it, slap it, hit the thumbs up, and grab 60 round dressers to put your light years ahead of the sheep, okay? Next guy here is Bryce Young. I know it's not a sexy pick. Improved O-line, I heard in training camp. Because I'm up to the beat. I've got the watch on. I'm ready to go. I get notification. Bryce Young is doing really, really well with Deontay Johnson. They're connecting. Deontay Johnson, Tim, not Adam Thielen. Deontay Johnson. I know how much of a man crush
you have. And who's the other big receiver there?
Xavier Leggett, rookie.
Get out of here. You're a moron. Either way, my thing here is he's got wide receivers. He's doing pretty well in the wide receivers. All the rest of the offense, suck. Suck. Tight end is nothing. Running back, mediocre. So the wide receivers have to get it done.
You never know. They drafted a rookie, Jatavian Sanders. There could be a breakout there. You never know. So you can't say they suck. We have to see what's
never know, but I sure as hell ain't excited at this point.
Who do they got? Who else they got? Chuba Hubbard. He sucks, right? Yeah. And then you've got Jonathan Brooks, who, again, exciting player in college, had torn his ACL, right? And then he's going to miss time. They said they're not going to get him started like 4 weeks. They got Miles Sanders, Chuba, and Jonathan Brooks. Jonathan Brooks is going to be the one when he comes back in theory, but again, we don't know. We don't know what he's going to do. But Bryce Young, but here's the thing, top first overall pick last year. Great in college. Just didn't do it last year. Bad team. They improved everything, gave him the weapons, made some shifts on O-line, made everything better. Got Jonathan Brooks, who won't get started till about weeks into the season. But Bryce Young, all I'm saying, man, if you're in a 2-quarterback league, he could be your 3rd quarterback. That's all. I'm not saying go start him, but he's going undrafted. But he's got that type of rushing upside and caliber of a Jaden Daniels or a Lamar Jackson type thing. But he's just completely like nobody cares on Carolina. So again, all I'm saying is like he could be a league winner. Upside is there. We're talking. It's all about having a conversation here. And then if you bust again in Carolina sucks, but Joe told me Bryce Young. I'm just saying, no, dude. Just stash him, back up at best.
As like QB3, or if you want to drop someone in the first couple of weeks, you could probably still pick up Bryce.
Yeah. But you never know. There could be something here. It could be a diamond in the rough. You never know, man. You never know. So that's it, Tim. Some sneaky league winners here. Some guys under the radar. Not even so much under the radar. More just like value. Just great value. That's all it is. All right. Yeah, make sure you guys smash it, tap it, slap it. Go grab 16 rounds. Tim, anything else you want to say to the lovely listeners here in fantasy football season?
You guys know I got you. But yes, don't take everything I say seriously. Joe is the man. I'm here to make you laugh.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you for brushing my ego. Thank you. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll talk soon, guys. Have yourself an outstanding Monday. Hope you guys enjoyed the chat, the yelling, the screaming, the banter, the back and forth. We're here for you guys. Go grab 16 rounds and drop a comment below. We'll try to get to dive into those comments. All right. Hope you guys have a great day. We'll talk soon. We're out.
Have a great one.